Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I am up, up, down, down, left, right, BA.
This Contra?
And I'm
Is
Marcos
this Contra?
Serrano of Spicy Tuna RPG.
There we go. And today, obviously, if you're watching us and you're not in podcast land, you can see that this is not our normal layout. It's because we're playing a game today. We're playing Cryo Drakus, an alien reconnaissance RPG from Marcos Serrano of Spicy Tuna RPG.
Happy to
How's
be here.
everybody
Thank
doing?
you so much.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you back. You know, it's been a little while.
Back. Yeah, I love being on. I love playing on your show and running games on your show.
When's the
I'm
last
excited.
time you were here?
A thing we should have researched.
I know that Bloodborne is the last time, I think.
Yeah, probably. No, did we? Yeah, we did. Wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I feel like I was gonna... I don't know, maybe it's just because we talk about...
Yeah, maybe we was so good. Anyway, so yeah, today we're doing a TWS plays. We're doing Cryo Drakus. Smooth start to the show as always here. Marco, what the heck is Cryo Drakus?
The Cryo Drakus, like you said, is an alien reconnaissance game. It is a game where you play piloting spaceships into alien hives, trying to discover why they have moved and populated around Earth. So it's a big game of like uncertainty about the future or a potential invasion, but it's not a game about fending off invasions like you might play with shoot 'em ups. It's the game that's like takes 100 years before then, where you just have aliens staring at you. You really aren't sure what's going on, and you're playing a very small part but a very useful part in basically how Earth is reacting to this to try and survive a potential invasion. So that's like kind of the level of tenseness that the setting is in, and yeah, and then like I said, kind of like the adventure part of it is you're piloting spaceships through alien hives, and then the second part of that is you take samples that you've gathered back and you try and discover what your recordings are saying. You're discovering about these specific species of aliens, discovering if they're actually threats, what level of threat they are, and you're also engaging with other scientists and researchers and like rogue scouts that are also doing the same thing. So you're like trading samples and intrigue and information that you've gathered, and that's like kind of the second more narrative and RP focused part.
Cool.
Sick. And it's still freaking Zine Quest, right? We're doing this for how much longer is this on Kickstarter?
I think we have 6 days. I think we're done next Thursday, probably midday. I don't remember the exact hour. But yeah, we just funded 2 yesterday, which is fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been great. Yeah, so the game itself has a mission inside it, which I just can't make a game without like an introductory mission.
Absolutely.
And then Josh Hiddie is writing a second adventure called Screaming Depths. And then we're actually going to play the stretch goal pamphlet adventure, working title, Fire in the Hole, because everybody's favorite, not everybody's, but a really cool level in all the shoot 'em ups is the fire level with like fire dragons, stuff like that. It's kind of like inspired by those levels. So that's what we're doing today.
Sick.
Awesome.
All right. Well, so listen, if you're listening, it is Friday the 21st on the show. I'm trying to get this out by Saturday. So if you're listening to this before next Thursday, go back to game. Marco makes some awesome stuff. Greenhorns. I just got my greenhorns recently and it looks fantastic. I've got to play Cryo Drakus already. Got to do some play testing and stuff with Marco. It's super fun, interesting game, especially for all us elder millennials who grew up on these shoot 'em ups. So I'm excited to play. I'm excited for Hunter to play.
Right.
And why don't we fucking do it? So we're gonna start like all the way with character creation. It's pretty simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
yeah. So let's do this. And one small edit I didn't make, but that doesn't matter. So yeah. So character sheets. I think both of you have your character sheets.
Mm-hmm.
But basically we're gonna roll like your qualification, which is kind of like a background. Um, so if each of you guys want to roll 1d6, we can just go ahead and start there. Fill it in.
Ooh, let me plug in my critical machine.
I rolled a 3.
Nice. So Hunter, you were like before being a spaceship pilot, you were a drone photographer at high speed sporting events.
Hell yeah.
Could you shoot me the character sheet again?
Yes.
I have it somewhere in here, but it's got lost in all of the draft overlays. And then I'm supposed to roll a d6?
Yeah, D6.
All right.
I mostly did weddings, you know.
I did a d2.
Not
A
quite.
2?
Yeah, a 2.
A 2? You're a mathematician whose work is well respected. So these, there'll be more than 6 of them in the final version, but they're really meant to be real vague and able to be expanded on if you'd like to. Especially in the role playing aspect back in or at Earth, it might play a role in your social connections and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, so the next part in this is about probably let me put that at the end. So the next part we'll roll another d6 and it's kind of giving you a reason why you explore the alien hives. Like why are you so interested in it? Besides the fact that it's a looming threat that you want to kind of do your part, but what else is really driving you?
I rolled a 5.
Awesome. So you're a xenologist. You want to know them and feel their drives and desires. Your drive is to become partially assimilated so you can hear them speak and attempt to persuade you.
Cool.
Really trying to get to know them, Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, I will. I will gain great knowledge of them, you know?
Yeah, and then
Biblically.
assimilate. Yeah. At 4.
4. Okay. You are, it's funny. I'm fudging a little bit because this is the one I'm getting rid of. It was from our original playtest.
I
But
can roll
so
again.
you are, yeah, roll
Yeah,
again.
let me just roll
Actually,
again.
yeah, that's better.
3.
3. You're a protector. So you quickly grow bonds and care deeply for other rogues. Your drive is to prevent other rogues from dying.
Dick. I'm a mathematician that loves to protect people with my
Yeah.
math.
That's pretty fitting,
They
actually.
said
Hey, yeah.
you would never use algebra. All right, now I bet you my firing solution says otherwise.
You're like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Dude.
Well, or in Independence Day, which would
Independence Day, yeah.
make more sense.
So with your your drives, there's also a suggested ship, but you can choose whatever ship you like. That's the other thing. I don't think I have sent Hunter. Let me send these to you guys just so you have them.
Oh, I have the playtest document.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't know where I got it, but I do have it. So
Yeah. It's probably outdated a bit.
Yeah,
So
I was
let
gonna
me
say send
go
the
ahead.
newest one.
I just found it on my
computer.
computer. It not even in my drive or anything. Literally in my download file. So I got it
Nice.
at some point.
Oh yeah, this is great. I can just drop them straight on screen.
Oh, nice. So I'll tell you your preferred ship, but just it fits your drive maybe a little more, but don't. Maybe I just shouldn't even tell you. I don't know. I'll tell you. So the Protector's suggested ship is the Clip Caravel. The ship named after the Vic Viper, which is the best spaceship name ever made.
Obviously.
Yeah. And then the xenologist prefers either the Magpie or the Razor Blade.
Razor.
The Razor Blade.
Just purely having knowledge of the playtest document. Is the Razor Blade the javelin from
Yes,
previously?
it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you have a real old day one then.
Yeah.
Listen, don't
I
bully
only
me.
Yeah, and the clip caravel is actually completely new to the
Mm.
stock that you have. Yeah, I had to name it a two-syllable name because the clip caravel, and just an ode to the Vic Viper.
What
But
is the Vic Viper?
I believe, man, it'd be embarrassing if I quote this wrong, but it's the ship from Gradius, and it's just like the name of the spaceship that you're in, that you're like fighting off all the alien threats and stuff. But it's
Gotcha.
just such a solid name.
Yeah. What are you? What was your? I'm a mathematician. What are you again? You're a photographer.
I'm a xenologist. Yeah,
As a
Gotcha.
xenologist and a drone photographer.
and drone photographer. Yeah,
There
I
you go.
study aliens on the weekends. I do weddings just to make up the little gap in my pay. So
Gotcha.
yeah, modern gig society.
What
Um,
what are you going with?
I think I'm gonna do the razor blade.
Nice.
Razor.
Razor.
What did I do last time? What did I do during the playtest?
Yeah, I think you were the razor blade.
I think I
Mhm.
think I
Remember you
probably
having the
was.
Nano shield.
Yeah, not
Oh,
this time though. Fuck you, Ryan.
you keep explaining. I listen. I gotta just do something real quick, but you keep going and keep explaining. I can hear you.
Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, so basically what you're looking at when you're choosing ships, just for everybody listening, is each ship has a few qualities to it. They have the risk dice size that they roll, and that's what you roll if you make a risk roll. That's what you roll for retreating, for avoiding combat, for using mechanisms, etc. And then you have a damage dice, which is what you rolled in combat. It's very inspired by Into the Odd combat. So roll damage straight. So that's gonna differ between 1d4 and 1d10 for damage between the four ships.
So
Yes.
there's never a hit roll.
Yeah, never to hit roll.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and then you have different power dice. So power dice is a resource. It's a resource management game, I think, more than anything.
Hmm.
Um, where if you run out of power dice, you crash. But you can also
Cool.
use power dice for a number of things, and I'll probably get to that right after you choose your ships. And then you have different shields. So you'll see the three layer or rows of shields. Each one of those represents a different shield: top shield, mid shield, bottom shield. And it's just your health bars. But the negative part, the configurations matter because when you lose the shield, you lose an upgrade. So that feels really bad. Generally, that is one
Hmm.
thing that you can use power for. That's new since playtesting. Is like, hey, like I don't want to lose my upgrade. I'll spend a power, right? And then you have different upgrades. So every ship has three unique upgrades that help them in various ways between like combat or collecting samples or etc. Taking less damage, stuff like that. So.
Cool.
Those are kind of all the 5 points of information of the ship.
You picked the razor blade. What was the suggested ship for the mathematician?
For the mathematician,
Or the
the
protector?
mathematician is that's the qual yeah, that's the qualifier, the qualification, which is like your background, and the protector is the clip caravel is a
I'm just
suggestion.
gonna go with that.
Cool.
And then we're both on the same screen. And I'm just gonna max it out for a second.
Nice. Yeah, cover our faces. Yeah, you can't see
Yeah.
us anymore.
Who needs to see
Just
us?
listening now.
Who needs to see us?
John Cena.
Yeah.
The exhale. That is a good one though.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
those are dope. Those are friggin' dope ships. All right, so I'm gonna be the clip caravel. So I'm gonna open that up for me over here. I'll just have that. Dope. Man, I'm gonna miss that ion cannon. I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna say that's the we start with one upgrade, right?
Yes, you do start with one upgrade.
I'm
So
taking the ion cannon, baby.
Bro, listen, ion cannon was a big deal during the playtest. I was very attached to my family heirloom ion cannon
oh
that I was
yeah.
rocking with. That was a good one.
I told Hunter while you were gone, that is one more use for power now, is that when you lose a shield, you do lose an upgrade unless you expend a power to save your upgrade. Which
Sick.
is
Okay.
a really cool
Sick. I
way to
like
kind
that.
of combat the bad feeling of the original idea was that you get stronger and weaker. You know, like if you die in a shoot 'em up, you come back with nothing. So it's like
Right.
emulating that, and now it gives you a little bit more control over that, which I think is just
I
more
like
fun.
that. I like
Yeah.
that. Well, it also makes the resource management aspect even more
Resource managing.
sick. Resource
Resource
managing.
managing, yeah.
Even yet another thing to worry about. You want to make sure you have at least one so that you don't get screwed. Sick. Okay, well then I'm gonna start with the. I'll probably start with um, the ripple laser.
Nice. Ripple laser is a very classic shoot 'em up weapon too. So that's definitely just straight yoinked from the inspirations. So the way this works, and again, I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a form fillable PDF for you guys, so I don't know if you have it in like Canva or something you can do whatever. But the way you fill out your character sheet is basically put in the circles for the shields that you have, just so you can reference those more often. You can just put an X or a dot in like the highest topmost for each shield. Um, Then you would also put in your risk dice number, whatever you have. You know, if it's a D6, do that. You know, damage dice, likewise, you just put that in. Or if you're playing in person, you just set your dice on in there, you know. And then you would put an X from bottom to top, usually like power. So if you have 5 power, you just put like an X through the topmost or through the 5th highest power square. Also, you could just put 5 power dice, you know, actual D6s there. Um, and then the last part of character creation, now that you know your ship, is to decide if you want a +1 in risk or if you want a +1 in aim. And that's a one-time use thing. This is basically the only what's it called? Only benefit of like leveling up is you get +1 risk or +1 aim. And what risk does is once per mission, you may add +1 to a risk dice roll or risk roll. In aim, you add +1 damage while attacking. And then they have different functions while on shore leave that are actually kind of undetermined, but will play more, just really help you as like a pilot back on Earth.
Nice. So, Marco, explain us the basics of the dice mechanic here. It is a D6 roll, correct?
So it's a dice pool system. So when you don't honestly don't really roll too often except for combat, but when you are making a risk roll, when that's called for from mission control, then you grab your risk dice and then you add any power you're willing to risk, so any amount of D6s, and then you add dice gained through acquired upgrades. So if an upgrade has an associated dice to it that helps you in a risk roll or that type of risk roll or that like type of situation, you would also roll that dice. Then on a standard risk roll, you take the highest number and resolve the action. So it's a 1 through 3 is a failed roll with a complication. 4 through 5 is a success, but there's a complication. 6 plus, you succeed with no complication.
Cool.
And then if you're collecting a sample, so this is also a little bit different, then you make a risk roll always. And when you collect a sample, you're going to increase the danger meter, which we'll also get to. But though that result of a risk roll is a little different, where you always collect a sample, but you're either going to, with a 1 through 3, you increase the danger meter by 2, and a 4 through 6 is your highest roll. You only increase it by 1. So there's some importance there. And then the last part is whenever you use power dice, you always lose it unless you use it during a risk roll, and then you keep it on a 5 plus. So if you're risking power dice during a risk roll, you get to keep your dice if you roll a 5 or 6.
Love it.
That's the main thing. And then combat, like I mentioned before, is no roll to hit. It's just very simplified. You're going to roll your damage dice and then any dice associated with upgrading. You choose a single action, and there's a list of those that you have, like attacking, barrel roll, which has your incoming damage, retreating, attracting fire. So, you know, if you have a lot of damage reduction, you want to make sure your partner can do something else, you can attract that fire. You can take cover, restore shield slots, which is like healing. And you can pick up a sample upgrade or a drop that's available to you too. Um, it's
Cool.
like a non-exhaustive list in a way, like
Yeah.
it's, lean into whatever you want to lean into.
I
But
really like that. I really like that you have a dice pool system. You take a little bit of inspiration from kind of like the quicker paced combat of Into the Odd. And also it has like a partial success in it as well. I think it's fun.
yeah, and then the last thing with combat is you can use a power dice to take 2 actions,
Mm.
double up also. So that's generally where I think there's a really cool thing that's happened during playtesting, and we've kind of leaned in further since playtesting, and we'll playtest the whole time more. But you can be pretty like near invincible for a duration of the game. 30 minutes to 90 minutes in, a few combats, and you're using your power dice to kind of have incoming damage, and stuff like that, and you're feeling very good. And then eventually you're down to 2 or 1 power dice, and you're like, oh, hold on, like I can't spend it anymore. And you're just taking much low, like, your shields go from decreasing by 1 or 2 or 0 to, like 4 to 6 every round. So
Cool.
yeah, that's like where the resource management comes in very heavily, is just like with combat and how like protected you are. Yeah, that's like kind of, yeah, I think that's pretty much most of it. Like I mentioned, you can use Paradise for certain things. I guess we could get to that now too. Or do you guys have any other questions about like character creation in general? Or
No, I think I've got mine set up.
cool. Yeah, I
Given
like how fast it ended up just being just like, hey,
Yeah.
extrapolate if you want to, but if we're just diving into an alien hive, like let's get it rocking. So okay, so Power Dice, you guys have a list in front of you, but for everybody listening, you can use your Power Dice for a number of things. The first one, as I mentioned before, is add a 1d6 to your risk roll. That's where you can get it back on a 5 or 6. You can take an additional action during combat, which I mentioned as well already. You can restore 2 shield slots, and that is an action in combat as well. That does cost power, and I don't think that's written down in your cheat sheet, by the way. But you can spend 1 power to recover 2 shield slots. This is also where shields are important. It's restoring the slot, so the circle, but you cannot regenerate a broken shield.
Okay.
So you can only heal what is taken away from your current shield instead of adding on. You can avoid losing an upgrade, which I've also mentioned. And then you can use a mechanism. So a lot of the hives that we're writing, this is actually a Josh Hiddy thing that he kind of introduced, is while you're exploring the hive, there may be something in there that requires power to use. And then where it's really dangerous is there's enemy drain. So some enemies do drain your power. So bringing yourself to 1 and just sitting on that isn't necessarily an option.
Right.
Because an enemy could just drain your last power. And it might be, push your luck. It's a very push your luck type of game, because at any point you can also extract from the mission, whether you actually play through going through each zone to get out, or we have a simplified mechanic for that called an extraction roll. So
Cool.
yeah, that's power. And then otherwise, the danger meter on the screen basically reacts to your antagonizing the hive. So that's going to tick up gradually. You get 1 tick for engaging in combat. You get 1 or 2 ticks for collecting a sample, as mentioned before, and you get +1 tick whenever your risk roll highest result is a 1. There's another reason to maybe invest in your risk rolls if you only are rolling your risk dice to mitigate that effect. And then what you'll see is that the danger meter has different levels. As that advances, 2 things happen. 1, the defenses in the hive increase, and then 2, the next sample becomes available. And your goal is to collect samples because you're trying to learn about these aliens. So you have to antagonize the hive and allow it to react to you, making it more dangerous in order to collect more samples, fulfill your mission. So that's that mechanic there. And otherwise, we have crash roll and assimilation. Assimilation is another way that you can be, lose your character, be completely assimilated. But that was
Very
pretty straightforward.
Borg-esque, you know?
Is it?
Yeah. You ever seen Star Trek, you know, the Borg from Star Trek?
Uh-uh. I actually have
Saw
never
the
seen Star Trek. That's kind of weird.
Well, you're not
Dude,
missing
you
out
know
that
what?
much.
This episode's over. I'm out of here, guys. Well, The Next Generation's a fantastic show, and you should definitely watch at least that one. Deep Space Nine's pretty good too.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, the Borg assimilate their enemies and bring them into the hive, and
Nice.
yeah, so very cool. Yeah, well, you know, much like it sounds a lot like when you collect honey from a beehive. Everyone knows the best way to get honey, or the best honey, is to shake the hive violently right before you start collecting. So, if you're listening to this and you act on that knowledge, that's your own fault.
That's true, yeah.
Well, cool.
Get yourself an apiary suit and hop in YouTube and go antagonize some hives.
Fuck with bees. Yeah.
Ryan, you about ready to drop in?
Yeah. Well, what's your fucking name so I can put it on the Canva here?
Oh, well, since I'm piloting the Razor Blade, I think it's right that my name is Blazer. So
Name is Blazer. Okay.
Yeah.
And your ship's name is you're gonna keep Razor Blade as your ship's name?
Yeah, I am, because I'll be Blazer in the Razor Blade. You know, I just think that's, oh wow, that's that Razor Blade piloted by Blazer. You know, it's perfect. It really couldn't be better. So
Blazer.
Dodgeball
All
reference,
right.
you know?
it's absolutely a dodgeball. Blade, laser, blazer. Everyone looks at each other.
So good.
All right. My name is James McLeod, and my ship is called the Wyvern.
Star Fox reference. Dude, that's great.
F-Zero, but yeah, close enough.
Wait, is it?
Mm.
I never played F-Zero, so I would not.
Maybe that sounds dumb. I thought James McLeod was Fox McCloud's dad.
Maybe they crossed over in F-Zero then.
Could have been.
Yeah.
What is Fox McCloud's dad's name?
I don't know.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, Google it.
James McLeod.
So
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
He
That's
looks just
cool.
like Fox McCloud, but he's got cool sunglasses.
Those are, you know, he's a very popular threat defeater, you know?
And James McLeod is also in F-Zero, and it's the exact same character except in human form. So
that's
I was gonna say, yeah, he's a human.
Right.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us.
Like you said, we were raised on it.
I didn't play F-Zero. I played Star Fox 64. So, and the one after that on GameCube where he got out of the ship and like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Dinosaur Island.
yeah. Weird little riff on that formula, but whatever, you know.
Yeah. It actually has a really cool history to that game. Why it was a Star Fox
I'll look
game
for
and
the
stuff.
YouTube documentary on it, the
YouTube
3-hour YouTube
documentary.
documentary that I know exists, you know.
That is exactly how I learned about it. So.
All right. So Blazer and James McLeod ready, and you, Marco, are mission control.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
Cool. Oh shoot. You know, 1 second. What was your name again, Hunter?
Blazer.
Blazer? Blazer.
Yeah, Blazer.
Blazer.
Alrighty.
What you wear.
Hmm?
Or person who blazes.
One of my worst traits as a GM is just calling people by their names. So I'm really trying to be better about that.
That's why I just make games that you don't require you to come up with a name. You just play it up.
Yeah. Well, I like being other people too. So, yeah. Okay, sweet. Jumping in. Anything to mention or any questions or anything before or anything?
No. Well, I mean,
Nope.
you know, we want people to learn as we go too. So we'll just
Cool.
explain everything as we go. And that way, if I just forgot everything, I'll pretend that I'm just doing it for the audience.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so generally, like I said, you're rogues, and you're actually in charge of your missions, and you do work in some sort of like cohorts and stuff, in good faith with other people. So mission control is just another person that you trust to observe things. And what we know about these hives are shared with you very transparently throughout the entire mission. We know a certain amount going in, and then we also throughout, you can imagine this lore bit's not complete yet, but
Mm-hmm.
small drones are sent out with you to kind of like scan things out. And so as defenses change, they can relay new information to you to react to. So, yeah, so you will be reconning at Hive 4. This is Hive 4. It's currently extremely close to Earth. It looks like a giant fireball, and it just has like spilling clouds coming out of it. And what I mean by close to Earth is it's literally orbiting Mars right now.
Ooh.
Very, very in your face. The hive makes the red planet look dull, and our scans have found that like very little life inside. We assume that's because of the levels of heat that you see and the fact that it's on fire. So you're going in a little bit more blind than what you may be used to. And yeah, this game encourages you to ask a lot of questions too. So whatever you want to know about the current environment, the current zone you're in, or the current the hive in general, just ask, and I will give you what is available to you. Sweet. So that's approaching it. Entering, the walls are still this chaotic fire. There are square red fountains filled with black, non-reflective water that welcomes you into what can only be described as the serpent's mouth. And you are in zone 1.
That's what I was gonna ask. So above me, for those wondering what this has been the whole time and couldn't figure out that it's a fucking map, this is a map. So we are starting in zone 1, which is this guy right here. For those in podcast land, I'm pointing upward to a box with a number 1 in it. Yeah.
Perfect. So we're in the first room of this hellscape with like oil liquid pools and burning life. How many samples were we trying to attain again? Was it 3?
So there are 4 total available samples.
Okay.
And yeah, you can, like, in a very broad sense of success and failure, a successful mission, like pay for your expedition would be collecting 2 samples, and
Okay.
success would be a third. There are some minor things that you can collect besides that, which can kind of push you forward, make it a little bit more change. But in general, yeah, you're kind of trying to get 3 to 4 every time you go out, because going into space is cheaper in the future, but it is not cheap.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I call up my like video onto my main screen of like, I assume I have like multi-directional cameras on the outside of my vessel.
Yep.
And I look around the room for any sign of anything that moves or seems to be alive and not fire.
Currently nothing, but what is coming in, mission control is gonna radio you and be like, all right, guys, it looks like your target is in chamber 3, or zone 3. The biggest threat to you is gonna be in zone 8. So that's why it's circled. That's what we know so far. We're going to need you to advance a little bit further if you're looking to find out more about this place.
Cool. I head directly to zone 8.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan, what do you want to do?
I feel like we should go to zone 7.
I agree.
Considering It's the only one we can go to.
I'm trying to rope you in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
no.
Yeah, so Zone 7 looks like a giant magma reservoir. So the bottom is almost seems just like an endless pit, the way that, the solidified magma and fire is kind of swirling below you. Um, there are, when you're approaching, kind of on the far side, so near like the entrance to 5, there are 3 fireballs, which are kind of these like globby aliens, not just actual fireballs. They're like face like that. And they have these like big maws that are just kind of like
Oh.
peering at you. So in this situation, when you enter a zone, you're not engaged in combat yet.
Mhm.
Basically have options. So 6 and 5 are you're gonna have to like engage in combat with these fireballs to go there that way. If you're headed to 2 or 4, then we would be able to just not even roll for that.
Ryan, you feeling for combat already, or where you at, buddy?
Well, my name is James McLeod.
Sorry, James.
I have a son named Fox McLeod.
Named your son Fox? What a dickhead name for a kid.
Whoever named fuck your parents, by the way, Blazer. Just throwing that shit out there.
It was my father Blade and my mom Laser.
And they like a Pokemon, they like spawned a thing, and it just happened to correspond to so we literally have a million directions to go to. What did you say? Which one was combat?
Zone 3 is where the sample is. Although we are able to tell already as you enter that 3 and 6 are locked.
3 and 6 are locked. But what are the small L's? What are the L's?
Lock.
Those represent locked areas.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
And you will discover a little bit of meta. You'll discover how to open those. Or
I say we kill these fucking aliens, bro, and get them out of our fucking solar system.
Is that your drive? I thought you were trying to fuck them.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. My drive. We should go see these aliens because I want to.
You're interested in being
I'm trying to assimilate a little bit so I can speak to them and get to know them.
Yeah, you're trying to
survive them.
You want to get to know them. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what the drone cameras were for. I get it.
That's exactly what they were. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I want to. Boom. All right.
It's so funny if you just start rolling dice. Okay, never mind.
You mean when I did when I started rolling
I've been
dice?
Rolling like a ton just over and over for no reason. Like, hold on, let me figure this out real quick.
All right, I totally forgot because we haven't played the game in forever. Marco, you don't roll any dice ever, but Hunter, we do here on the show. When we try to play games, try to throw the dice on screen too so that people can see what they're rolling, what we're rolling, so we ain't cheating at some shit. So we do use, and again, we're not fucking sponsored by anybody. I just really like dddice.com. It has this really cool stream overlay that you can drop right on and then use different dice. So that's what we're going to be using from now on. dddice.com. Don't sponsor us. We just like you.
No, sponsor us. What the fuck?
We don't get sponsored by fucking anyone. We're non-monetized. But you can say cool things about us. Anyway, I say, let's fucking fight some people quick. Let's murder some aliens. I'm a protector. I'm protecting Blazer from himself because I think if he fucks aliens, he's going to get an alien STD and it's going to bring it back to Earth.
Burns from these guys.
And it's going to wipe us out.
You know what? Can I try to hail the aliens?
You could. Here's the thing with kind of in this game, like Earth was invaded 50 years ago. Okay. You also know as a rogue pilot that more than likely these are like threats, and so this is not the first hive that has been investigated and knowledge. it does come back. You do know that some are not necessarily bad, but these things are flying at you. Your training would probably be closer to avoid combat or like shoot first, ask later. There's a lot less dialogue. You're more of like, you're constantly recording and stuff. So as you're picking
Yeah.
stuff up and exploring, you're kind of gathering the information and maybe kind of like closer to like a story of our lives. There's deciphering to do because it's a
Cool.
new species.
So
So
he's
you
saying
learn more
no.
about them. Yeah, yeah. You learn more about them later, not now. So
Yeah. Well, my father fought in the first terrestrial invasion, so yeah. I guess we'll engage. We'll engage with the enemy.
We're gonna
so
get engaged to the enemy.
So players always go first. You're always gonna auto hit. And then it just continues until either you guys retreat or you defeat them all, or you're defeated. So yeah, these things, yeah, they don't look like the most formidable things that you would have seen or have known of. I'll say that much, just as like I think your character would kind of know that. It's not like a giant like freaking alien that you've seen, encountered and stuff. But they are threatening. So and then in any order, whoever wants to go first, and then also talking together like, hey, we want to target the same one. There's 3 of them, or we want to target 2 separate ones, stuff like that.
I will go ahead and target one of if are they like in a line? What's their formation? I'll target one on the flank. I'm like maybe like the right side. And I'm gonna hit him with my ion cannon. And internally, I feel like this is just me like flipping a ton. Like I have a massive switchboard,
Yeah.
Like maybe most of them don't do anything. I'm just like flipping a bunch of switches and then turning a little wheel, and I'll go ahead and fire my ion cannon at him,
Cool.
Love the
So
ion cannon.
yeah, and you're firing a bunch of stuff. You have your base, base lasers and your ion cannon both. So you will actually roll 1d6 and 2d. So sorry. What's your base dice or your damage dice?
My damage is 1d6, and then the ion cannon gives me an additional 1d6 in combat.
Perfect. So roll 2d6. That's your damage on 1. Before you do that, real quick, Ryan, are you targeting same flank fireball, front fireball, mid fireball?
You said we got 3 fireballs coming at us in room 7, or did we go to room 2?
You're still in room 7. You're just
okay. 3 fireballs coming at us, and which one is ion cannon targeting?
The flank.
Yeah, let's just. Focus fire. Focus fire. So I'll do that, and I'll use my. Get this out of the way. Let me get this in the way. I'm gonna use my what ripple laser. My ripple laser.
Ooh, what's that do?
It ripples.
Okay.
I roll 1d4 when rolling damage. Damage from this dice is applied to half of current targets, rounded up. So I get to shoot 1, but I assume it's one of these where it goes woo woo woo, and then all the lasers kind of go out in different levels. Is that the ripple laser? Yeah. So I'm kind of sweeping with my ripple laser as I'm firing with my regular weapons, and I get to hit. I'm going to say the flank in the middle one.
Sure. Yeah. So you would roll your 1d6 and the 1d4.
Yeah.
So So you guys are targeting one of the 3 with.
Right. I did 8
1d8. Sorry.
to it.
Yeah, you did how much?
8 damage to it.
All right. Since we're going to go in order, you roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Oh, I didn't roll on the actual thing. I'm so sorry. Never mind. That's not how much damage I did. I did.
Oh, you can do that much damage this time.
Oh, come on. Let's just see. Maybe it's more. Oh, it's less.
Significantly
Actually,
less.
It's significantly less. Let's just go with the 8 that I started with. How about that?
Yeah, 8 is gonna explode it, man. Boom! Blazing fire, just one of them explodes. Ryan, if you want, you can react to that as well. So if you want to retarget from that, I think you'd have a little bit of time if you like. Otherwise, just roll the 1d6 or your damage dice of 1d8 would just be null, but the 1d4 would apply.
If he's gonna go in and one explodes, as I'm kind of targeting the same one, I'll just take a sharp bank and try to shoot across the other 2 instead of 3 and 2. I'll target 2 and 1. And I rolled a 3 and a 1. So
Which one was your 1d4?
the 1d4 was the 3, and then the 4 was the 6 was the 1.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, I don't think so. I think that my Cape Canaveral, my clip is a D8. So let me roll a D8 instead of that D6. 2. All right, great. So 2 on the D8 and 3 on the D4.
Cool. You explode number 2. Number 3
Sick.
gets kind of blasted and recoils and just shoots a fireball out of its escaping mouth at you, the ripple laser guy. So in this case, roll a d6. This is your incoming damage.
Fuck off. Fuck right off.
Oh my god.
Did you roll a 6?
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 on a D6, a 2 on a D8 for my damage to go out. And I roll a D6 on the damage that I take. And my shield levels, my shield layers, have no
Damage reduction.
no damage reduction on first level. So that's wonderful.
Okay.
So is that my entire? That's 6 chunks of shield gone. 5 because I have damage reduction on the second one. So all of my top layer of shields are fucked. Boom, they're gone.
Yep.
Wow. That was beefy, Blazer.
Fast, James.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now the good side, as far as like this to be kind of a slightly learning AP, yeah, we can always use power to barrel roll, which has incoming damage. So then, like future reference to that. Yep.
Oh, you can do that in addition to your action?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. We could do that. We get 2 actions, right?
If you use a power, you can do a second action during combat.
Gotcha. Next time. I only start with 5 power dice on the Cape Canaveral. The Clip Cadaver.
Yeah, it's
What
a
was
little
it called
low,
again?
you know.
Clip Caravel. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you played it wrong. You just got a 6 in your face, so that was like not great. You know,
I got a 6 in my face, Blazer.
That's all right, guys. That's all right.
James.
There you go. And it's your turn. You have one more guy. You blasted him with 3 damage. You know everything else that you've dealt to. So yeah, if you guys just want to, I mean,
I fire my laser.
yeah, just roll.
Yeah.
Boom! It explodes. I'll just tell you. It explodes in a blaze of glory. You have cleared this zone, the magma reservoir, of all current fireballs. Who knows what the defenses will be. Now you have free range. The other thing that's going to happen, I know you're doing this in real time, Ryan. I appreciate you figuring that out. But the danger meter does increase by 1 because of combat. We always do that at the end so that we don't so that we can focus on combat and then. But yeah, what's up, Ryan?
So I was saying, for those watching, the danger meter is at the bottom. You're gonna see explain. So I know we touched on it before, but I'm gonna bump it up by 1. What the fuck is the danger meter?
Yeah, so the danger meter is a track that kind of in real time increases the danger of your mission. So right now we're at the second point of level 1. You're at level 1 defenses. The next time it increases, it's going to move into level 2. At any level change, defenses increase in the hive, and a new sample becomes available for you to find.
Okay, so in level 1, there's two segments. Am I marking off 1 or 2 of those?
1, but
okay,
technically you start on the first, so you're 2 in at this point.
Okay, so we already start on 1 on the danger meter. Sick. Okay.
Yeah. So for this particular mission, it's basically 2 ticks to level 2, 3 ticks to level 3, only 3 more to level 4. So it kind of advances a little bit faster than what you might see in most adventures. And then 5 to get to level 5. Level 5 is basically Armageddon. It's very, 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 very difficult to get out.
Cool. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's nice though is you clear this area. And then, so your sample available to you still in zone 3. In zone 7, you do see a control panel. And what we're able to tell from these like kind of the scans from your ship and stuff, this is actually seems like it's powering the L4 lock here in Chamber 7. So and again in Zone 8, that's your biggest threat. What's known Cryo Drakus as the full screen enemy, because when you get to the boss,
Right.
it takes up the full screen. Um, it's definitely one way to play it. It's just like rush the boss and get kind of hyperspeed to the most important sample is always protected by it. The other way is to try and kind of avoid it because they're very deadly. But
Hey, Ryan, you want to speed run the final boss?
If we take out the final boss, we can still explore the rest of the hive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can also
Should we not do that for this demo?
check it out and dip. Like you can always retreat from the final boss.
Okay. Bum, 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 bum,
something-
bum, bum.
Something you would know as the players, I mean, it's a little meta, is basically level 4 of the danger meter releases the final boss to chase.
Oh, okay.
Now, so that said, if you engage with it prior, you can, and you can fight, and you can always retreat. But it's not necessarily going to chase you. It usually like I'm protecting the most important thing right now. And at level 4, they're like, no, these guys have really been annoying, and we need to get rid of them. So.
I'll let you make the call, Ryan. I'm always down for reckless explosions and firing lasers. So,
I mean, my thought process, Blazer, because we've done this before.
yeah.
If we go in where we have all of our power die, it's the most power we're going to possibly be at.
I agree.
My shields are fucked. But can I use power dice to recover shields or something?
You cannot regenerate shields, but you can restore shield slots. So I don't know if people can see this now, but the circles are shield slots. So generally 2 to 5 shield slots per shield. As they're lowered, you can restore them. But when the last one's removed, the shield's broken. So regardless, so in your situation, I think it completely eliminated, but didn't go into your second shield. So that shield slot or that top shield is still broken. So you can't heal that, fortunately.
Sucks to suck, sucks to suck.
So
what's better? What's better for the demo, Marco? Because let's be honest, we're playing the game, but what would you like us to do?
I think it's exciting to go into the full.
Let's fucking do it. We're doing it.
So, yeah, I think that's exciting. That's why I put it in the middle. It's an option for sure.
Let's take it.
And you can collect samples other ways. There's a mechanic I might bring up. I'll bring up if I have a mechanic to get people back in the game.
Cool.
So if it goes haywire, we can keep playing and have
perfect. Fun. I'll fire a little small laser beam from one of my little side cans at the power generator for the lock for L4.
Cool. So it's not going to respond to you, but you're going to discover that you can spend a single power to unlock.
I will spend a single power to unlock it.
You start with 6, right?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. I like the use of power. Yeah. Once again, the inventory management in this game is so crucial. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot of fun. And so in general, I will just say for viewers, it's mostly an exploration game, but there's definitely ways to just go like and be pretty close to shoot them up. But let's do it. You guys, you open, you exercise the control panel with like little arms that come out of your spaceship and kind of like react to things and kind of injecting it with enough power to kind of override its defense systems. The back across this like really fiery hall down all the way to zone 8, you just see this like you hear this like hissing as these like super heavy doors are just opening. We're gonna say there's like 4 of them in a row, kind of like very like episode 1 of Star Wars,
I was like,
thing is going. And then inside right now, it's just fiery yellow, etc. But as you get closer, it turns redder and redder. And looking into the kite devil's lair, you see these like tall, pulpy flags descended from the ceiling, covering all sight but the like central aisle, and then the kite devil on its throne gets up. Yeah, even in the flames, you can tell that's kind of like if you've ever made like homemade paper, it's very like that type of material. Um,
hmm.
it's not catching flame. And this thing is just massive with curled fanged mouth and a woven tail likened to a kite. Um, that's what you see. And then for mechanics wise, the way this works, a single full screen enemy is split up into multiple targets. There are normal targets that are just like smaller. So in this case, like the corners of the kite are like are able to like shoot fireballs at you and stuff. And then there are 1 to 3 special targets, and 2 special targets are the curled fang mouth and then the woven tail. So, and you just see these things kind of being menacing at you or like, shooting at you. You have first action, so they're not quite shooting
Cool.
yet. Maybe they're shooting, but just missing. You're so far away. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
You said which ones will fire fireballs off at us? The kind of the corner ones, is that you said?
Yeah, the corner, they're kind of like smaller targets. You know this in your training. They're generally lower HP, easier to take out. But if you don't take care of them, they're like just launching, D4s
Right.
and D6s at you. And then the
So-
special targets, yeah, attack, power, simulation, or heavy damage.
Okay. So the context of like when we look at the full screen enemy, is it a fire shooter at the top and a fire shooter at the bottom, and the specials on the middle kind of thing?
So yeah, so the mouth's in the middle, the tail is like a woven tail, and that's kind of like this special target as well. And the corners are just firing fireballs and stuff.
Do we? All right, Blazer. We take out the little fireball shooters first, and then go for the specials.
Yes.
All right. So we like do a cool like move where we spin around each other, but then go the opposite direction. So like I go like we spin when I'm up and he's down, and then I go down and he goes up, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like real over the top,
Yeah.
unnecessary bullshit we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Top Gun shit right now.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I guess I will, as classically I've done so far, fire my laser.
Okay.
And the inside of my panel, I just see it as like a bunch of screens and then like hundreds of like retro toggle switches. Like that's all there is in this ship, It's just me toggling things on and off in like an esoteric manner that you could never understand by watching it, and just somehow it works,
Yeah. And remind me again, you guys said are you attacking like the curled fang mouth, or are you going for the woven tail?
I'm going for the fireball shooting.
You're going for a normal target. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
We're gonna try to take out the smaller normal targets early.
Okay. Quick question for you. Are you attacking the same target again like you did last time, or separate? Perfect.
Yeah.
And then are we using power dice? Maybe just straight up ask you this time, but are we using power dice during your first action to take a course?
I won't.
Okay.
I'm just gonna see what low
I
HP on a
will.
full face bad guy looks like.
I'm going to use a power die to take another action.
Yeah, and remember the second action could be like a barrel roll that has incoming damage. It can also attract fire, for instance, since Brian's lower on HP, stuff like that. So it's more, or take cover, which can also depreciate the amount of damage.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to first action fire, second action I'm going to barrel roll.
Cool.
So I'll go ahead and fire my laser.
Yep. It's going to be
Laser?
2d6. Oh,
Eight.
the power, so it's actually 3d6.
Oh,
Yeah, when you use the power during combat,
I
you
forgot,
add
yeah.
a 1d6 as well. So
Damn, it's 12 damage.
12.
12. Blast in this thing. It's pulpy pieces holding it together like fray. And as soon as it's detached, those like frayed bits do catch fire. And it's just kind of like a weird thing to notice, that it's very apart from itself. It's not whole in a way, you know? But yeah, you did take out a target.
Nice. Now I'm just gonna continuously slowly barrel roll. Here it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he took out the one. I'm gonna aim for the other, and I'm gonna use my ripple laser. So I got a D8 and a D4. I'm not gonna power die any of it.
It's the ripple
And
laser.
ooh, max damage, baby. 8 and 4.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is
Wait. No. That's a 1. It's an 8 and a 1. That's 9.
8 and a 1. It's 9.
Yeah, 8 on the 8, obviously, and then a 1 on the ripple laser.
That is enough to destroy another corner of this thing.
Nice.
And then the ripple laser, the way that works is it targets half of total targets, rounded down. There's 3 total, 3 remaining, we'll say. So we're just gonna do 1 damage across the board for the other bits.
Oh shit! My ripple laser can hit all the bad guys at a time.
Half of the total, and we always round up when we have to. So like if you're avoiding half damage.
Well, there's only 2 left. No, so they still only hit 1 next time.
2 normal targets, the fang mouth, and the woven tail. So we have 4
But the
targets.
2 normal targets are gone now, so all we have left are the 2. So the ripple laser will still only hit 1 from now on, right?
Yeah, so
it's just 1-1. Okay.
Okay, so the next thing is their turn, right? The normal targets are like launching fireballs at you. The woven tail literally like spikes at you. And despite being woven, kind of paper pulpy like, it is very bashful or bashing. And the curled fang mouth is actually going to use something called a draining bite. So it's actually gonna like physically grab onto your ship. So you will roll.
Who's you?
James McLeod is going to roll a 1d6 and a 1d4 for incoming damage. And then you're also going to roll, or you're also going to lose 1 power.
Oh, fuck off. I could have just spent it. Well, then I would have lost 2, I guess.
Yeah, then you would have lost
Right.
2. So that's just like a special of this big mouth. Blazer is going to roll 1d4 for assimilation, and then
Nice.
you're also going to roll 1d4 for incoming damage.
Okay. So I did 4 total incoming damage. And
That's what you took? Cool.
Yeah, and I have some, what's it called? I have, what's it called when I have shields before I have shields? The damage reduction. So I really only lose 3, right?
Yep.
And then you said I just lose a power.
Yes.
Sick, done. All right.
Cool.
I gained 1 assimilation.
Whoa, nice. That's a solid roll.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, so this thing it like wraps around, like bashes you, but like there's something that you physically feel through the ship that imparts itself to you. Like you are, this is nice because you're knowing them in some way. So great for you. For your damage, your 1d4, did you also roll a separate for that?
Me? No.
I want to know how Blazer feels about feeling the enemy.
I rolled a 1.
Cool. 1 and 1. Your top shield is
I have a damage reduction of 1. So
perfect. And you had a barrel roll. Barrel roll rounds up 2, so it is 1. But yeah, this is where you kind of feel very tanky, So how does Blazer feel? You had this moment of connection amongst this like high adrenaline combat.
it's like not that anyone's ever done any illegal drugs, but it's like if you were to take a psychedelic and you just for a moment reach this higher level of consciousness and immediately drop back down, and you're like, Wait, hold on. I was there for a second. I saw it for a second.
And a chub.
Huh?
All right, so a bunch of knowledge has been passed to you so
Mm-hmm.
far, knowing like what the threats are, right? Woven tail is dealt assimilation to you. The fanged mouth pulled power from you, and then the targets are obviously dealing damage as well. So, and that might vary in all fairness. The special targets have some enemies have like specials, so it might have used a special, or that might be its normal thing. It might deal more damage or less or whatever and do different things. But so that's the knowledge you're working based on. What do you guys want to target next?
I said we shoot the fucking mouth, dude.
You also noticed the fireballs were 1d4s.
I thought we already took out all the
like
fireball
this.
shooters.
What?
Didn't we already take out all the fireball shooters?
You've taken out 2, but the fireball shooters dealt 1d4 to you, and then the other ones don't. Well, the mouth dealt more damage and took power, and then the woven tail did assimilation. So
I think I'm confused. There were 4 original targets. We took out the 2 fireball shooters, and now it's just the mouth and the tail, right?
yep.
Okay. All right. So assimilation. What did you roll for assimilation, Blazer?
A D4.
A D4. Okay. So I only have 3 shields left and one what's it called? Damage reduction. So I definitely think that taking out the thing that does actual damage would be better than the thing that so that's the mouth, right? The mouth did the actual damage and the tail did the simulation, or vice versa?
The mouth and the targets. So the targets will be easy that you took out really easily. The mouth is probably more formidable with HP, but dealt more damage. So
yeah, I think we should try to take out the mouth, and then that way I can
just toggling, just insane amounts of random toggling, you know. And I'll fire. Do I want to use power again?
Yeah, and just to point out, not like meta too much, but you have all the options of combat include attacking, having your damage, retreating, attracting fire, taking cover, and restoring shields if you have lost shields.
You know what?
Picking up the sample stuff. You
only live once, and I'm going to use another power, taking me down to 3, and then I'm not going to use any more power after that. I can immediately add another D6 to my attack, and then I can take the barrel roll action again, right? As my second action?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to do that.
And what are you targeting? The mouth. The mouth? Okay. Are we
15.
Whoa. Okay. All right. So this thing literally, okay, it goes from literally biting the clip caravel that James McCloud pilots. And kind of, James McCloud gets loose. You just blast it with your ion cannon, lasers right in, it's like, pulled out, blasting in its mouth. You can tell the visible repercussions to the kite devil based on that shot. It is not enough to take it out.
I'm going to.
It's looking bad.
Okay, sick. I'm going to. Okay, so question. And I forget this. If I have a normal attack, which is a D8, and then I ripple laser for a D4. Mm-hmm. If I take a second attack, do I get a second ripple laser too, or is ripple laser only once?
No, so there's a special rule on that, and it's actually in your bit. So you can take any action twice, but when taking the attack action a second time, only the damage dice is rolled.
Okay, all right. So if I double attack,
2d8, 2d8
I spend a power to do 2d8 and a d4, and just hope I knock it out and it doesn't hit me back with enough damage to kill me. There we go. Done. All right. So power spent. Boom.
Oh, are you what are you using for your?
No, a second attack. Yeah, fuck that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
nice.
Oh, and real quick. So just as a reminder, when you use a power, you add 1d6 to your total. So if you do a second attack, you're rolling 2d8 plus a 1d6 plus a 1d4.
Yes. 2d8, d6, d4.
I think you might kill it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll. What's the over under on like 5 damage with 4 dice? You know. Let's see what we got here. Damn close. All right. 8 with 4 dice. I rolled an 8. I rolled a 4, a 1, a 2, and a 1.
You gotta hate rolling dice. You know what I'm saying? Who likes that anymore? You know, rolling 8 damage with 4 dice. Which one was the D4 ripple laser? What was the result?
D4 was a. Was that the one that was a 4? I don't remember. It went away now. Oh wait, I can click on it.
Yeah, you can highlight it, I think.
It was a 2.
Click on it.
A 2? Cool. Okay, so you explode its mouth. It has a literal giant hole in its kite form. To just phrase where the 2 corners used to be that are there. It just has 2 targets and woven tail left. Yeah, we're gonna split it down the middle again. No holds bars. These are only 1d4s coming your way for damage. And Mr. Blazer, you will also roll 1d4 separately for assimilation.
Okay. So I'm taking 1d4 damage and 1d4 assimilation.
Yep.
And then do I round the damage? Do I half the damage because I'm barrel rolling?
Yep.
Okay. And
I
that's
do a D4 for damage. Is that what it is?
assimilation.
Yeah, 1d4.
1 assimilation again.
Whoa.
And then damage. Oh, that's Ryan's. And then my damage. I take 1. I 1 halved, and I also have 1 damage reduction. I take
that's 0 again. Yeah.
I feel like we're rolling a lot of 1s today with the D4s.
We're rolling pretty good.
Well, considering we just rolled 3 D4s in a row and they were all 1s.
Yeah. You also rolled a bunch of
chance.
D4s, and you've never rolled higher than the 2 so far.
Yeah, no, I rolled 4 the one time.
That's true. We're not rolling.
But you can always switch your dice out. Just switch to a different theme.
Yeah, honestly, this strategy is not a bad one. As far as just going in with all your power. But yeah, back to you guys then. You have the woven tail, 2 normal targets.
Wait, I thought we already took out. I keep asking, and maybe I'm wrong. We already took out the 2 normal targets. Are they back?
There were 4 normal targets. You took out 2.
That's where the issue is. I thought there were 2 in the corners, but I thought you meant 2 in the corners as in 1 in each corner, not that there were 2 in each corner. Now
there's 4 corners. It's like a kite, devil man.
Oh, I thought it was the corners over there. Now it's making. I kept asking to be like, we already killed him, didn't we? And you kept talking about them, and I was like, I feel like I'm fucking crazy here. So, all right,
probably my fault.
Okay, all right. I feel like if we take out the tail, there's not really anything for the little targets to.
Quick question, Ryan. Did you lose a shield or no?
No, because I rolled 1 and I have 1 damage reduction, so I still have a second layer of shields by 1. Yeah. Thank goodness.
Wow, what a roll.
Right? Do we want to just Blazer? Do we want to aim at the tail and then we'll take out the little guys? Watch us take out the tail and then 1 fireball from the little guys kills us.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna tail it up. So
go for it.
I'm not gonna use a bunch of power this time. Although I bet this is the one time I actually take damage, but whatever. We'll get there. I fire my laser. I 7 fire it.
With a 7?
Yeah, with a 7.
Okay.
Cool. At the tail.
Yeah. So the pulpiness is coming off it. The knots, the woven bits are becoming slightly frayed. Doesn't seem like as a successful shot as what you have at the mouth, obviously. It's like,
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's what your attack does. And Brian.
I'm going to use a power because why not? And I'm gonna double attack again. I'm gonna do D8 to D6 and
Hell
D4.
yeah.
Let's what's your guys' guess? Over or under 8?
Under.
Two D8, one D6, and one D4.
Yeah.
Over. I'm going over. Odds are in my
Yeah.
favor.
23.
Oh,
What?
wait.
What? What did
You rolled D20s.
No, those are D8s.
Are they? Oh my God, for real?
I rolled an 8, an 8, a 3, and a
Holy
4. I rolled
shit.
max die on 3 of those, and then a 3 on the 6. 4 on the D4. An 8, an
Hey,
8,
does
a
that
3, and a
tail
4.
make it through 23 damage, bro? What the fuck?
So I love the imagery. I mean, I think Blazer's obviously been talking about the inside and whatever. So like imagine spending power and what you're doing is you're like shooting, you're like veering by, you're like, pulling on the NOS essentially, and just like your lasers just out of just like, just as much as it can, as much as it can let go, expending your ship. You feel it in your ship, and it just blows up the tail. Blows up the tail. These things are pretty much just like, the last corners are just like, barely attached to each other as a giant hole in the mouth. And they're just like, they're pissed. They're raining down whatever fireball they can. It's still sentient and getting you. And yeah, you go ahead, whatever you want to add.
So the ripple laser thing is like this, but you know how sometimes, you'll hit the power up and then it's like a stream of like 3 lasers that are like filling the entire fucking screen. I feel like that's what I did with the ripple laser is I like punched in that extra little bit and it went from just like to like and just filled the entire fucking screen at the thing. Absolutely. So do we take incoming damage from the little guys now, or?
Yeah, so you're gonna roll 1d4s each for incoming damage.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
What is it?
I took 3 minus 1, so 2.
My friends, I have 1 shield left.
On your second shield, though, right? Your mid shield?
No, on my 3rd shield.
Oh, after taking damage. Okay. So yeah, fantastic. It's your guys' attack. You just narrate it, what this looks like, how you're, blowing this up. You've done a lot with the ripple laser, which has been really nice. It's been chipping these down, even though they're not targeted. So yeah, narrate to me how you're defeating this full screen boss, and then we'll kind of evaluate the damage, see what it drops also, and like see where you're at. So it's a really cool, like, I think it's a really cool like strategy what happened, and we'll see how it falls out. But yeah,
Cool.
Tell me how you're blasting.
I guess I just pull up from that last blast and I just full 360, like flying up, turning around, aiming back at the target, and again, like, bing,
Yeah, you get the like starbs that like goes across the screen.
Yeah.
Like the white and
and I do 5 damage.
Where James?
I power up and do that mass ripple laser, like the beam of ripple lasers down at it. It explodes and I kind of like fly through it and come out the other side. But I turn right into like the fireballs that were kind of like chipping away, and it catches the back of my ship. Spins me a little bit, smoke starts to come out, and it's shaking and shaking, but I stay on target just enough to take a shot at that guy as I'm like calling out to Blazer, like, might be going down.
You're like,
yeah, just shaking as I got a D6 and a D4. I'm not gonna use should I use a power? If I don't kill it and I take 1 damage, I'm dead. But if I use a barrel roll, it reduces the most it can't reduce it to 0, right?
I kind of gave it to you as far as like narrating. You guys
narrate it. I just want to know how much damage I do then.
Yeah,
all right, 5 damage. Same as him. Boom. All right.
Boom. Great defeat. What's great about defeating the full screen enemy 2 is it actually has like pretty sweet drops. And one thing, we can reconcile right now. You lost a shield early on, and I forgot to
lost my upgrade.
I forgot to give
Yeah.
you the option to lose a power or an upgrade. Now, that said, I
Oh.
think you have enough power that if you would have spent that, knowing that you're going into the full screen enemy, wouldn't have been a problem. So we can retrograde it that way, or what the full screen enemy drops, they drop two upgrades. They
Mm.
also drop a rapid repair, and then they drop an auto fix. So actually, rapid repair is the only way to restore a shield, to regenerate a shield.
Oh, what's the auto fix do?
The auto fix restores two shield slots, so you guys can kind of divvy up what you have, or really, Ryan can just.
I'll take the auto fix because I'm only missing 2 shield slots, and
All right.
you gotta take the rapid repair because you're missing.
Yeah. So I marked off a power to keep for the power that I lost already. And then so then I would have kept my ripple laser, and then all of this makes sense. And then so what do I get with the am I doing the auto repair?
You get the rapid repair, so you get to
Okay.
regenerate your mid shield because you're down to your lower shield. You get to regenerate your mid shield.
Do I get
Cool.
the damage reduction that shield had back or no?
Yeah, all that is like
Oh, I
how
get it
your
all
shield
back.
works. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go back to.
And again, they don't.
2 shield
Sorry, go ahead.
slots. No,
Yeah, so I was going to say and clarify because I think you understand it, but the damage reduction is only for that shield. So you don't, it's not
Yeah.
cumulative everything below it. It's just that shield. So
4. Okay.
yeah, and then you each get an upgrade. Or one of you gets 2
Sick.
upgrades, you know?
And then let me put my damage reduction back. +1.
And when you grab an upgrade, you just choose whatever from your list. You cannot double down on what you have, but you can just get a
Can't get
second.
double ripple lasers?
No.
Get the fudge.
second ion cannon would go hard. So for the nano shield for the razor blade,
Yep.
you can add a shield with 4 shield slots. Okay, gotcha. So I have a 4th tier, like a 4th shield. Great, and I can just ram for 2d6 damage after I attack. So or as an attack.
Yeah, after. So yeah, so
So
the
shoot
name
a laser.
shield. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, so I shoot a laser and then I can ram him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one's fun because it's like you have to weigh your risk. If you think you can take more than 4 damage, then you might just ram it and spend that, or you might use it more as a shield. It's a versatile option, you know?
Okay. Think I'll take that.
Yeah, either way, it's like the closest to what we kept for like one-time use things, you know? Like if you use it to ram, it's 2d6 damage that time, but the nano shield breaks. And then
Right.
if you take 4 damage, it's your topmost shield now. So you lose it. So
Great. I'll just keep it. I'm not even going to ram with it, honestly. I'm going to keep it just as another layer of shielding. So good luck. Good luck hitting me, fellas. And I assume there's like a no damage reduction on my 4th now shield slots.
yep, there wouldn't be any.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the I could have just done this and then we could have seen our faces as we talked about your ship. I'm gonna go with the Spitshine.
Cool.
+1 damage and restore 1 shield slot each time you attack. That's crazy. So every time I attack, so if I double attack, do I get 2 shield slots back?
It's not how it was intended, so there might be some. We'll play no, and then I probably just need to put a little bit of info in there. Yeah. So and then a reminder: restoring 1 shield slot isn't regenerating a shield, so it's only
Right.
It is helpful with every attack as long as you have taken damage in your current shield.
Right. So yeah, so I can, and if I'm max on that shield, then I'm just getting the +1 damage because I don't regenerate the above 1. But that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Let's get real quick last thing before we just go, because there's one more piece of housekeeping. But before I do that, I would like to understand like where you guys are at. I know, James, you have 2 full shields. your mid and lower shield. Blazer has 4 full shields. Is really rocking still. Where's our power level at? You've also taken 2 assimilation. So you
I'm
have
at
3
3. Yeah.
and down to 1. Okay. So yeah, and this is why I like the option of finding the full screen enemy first. You guys have 0 samples. You guys are on a failed mission, essentially, like mine. But you survive. And in this chamber, there is actually you're getting the level 4 samples available to you. We'll get to that real quick. Before we do that, last piece of housekeeping. You guys engaged in combat, which means that we're increasing the danger meter by 1, which moves us into level 2. With level 2, here's a slight benefit that you kind of knew but didn't, but you spend a power to open this up. The level 2, the L2 locks are now open, is the big
Cool.
change to the map. And then it's looking, hey, James Blazer, great work. Great work with that. Holy hell, you guys are still alive. But it looks like things are getting a little bit more dangerous. Zone 7, which you cleared, has some new bogeys in it. And it appears like we also got a little bit of hate over in the in Zone 5. Those things are kind of heating up for y'all. That the available samples to you guys. Well, you guys took this thing now. We're able to see now. There is a sample here for you to gather. And there's the original sample in Zone 3 and now in Zone 6. So you guys kind of expedited
Okay.
the availability of the level 4 sample, which is great. That to you guys looks like, you blow this thing up, you're collecting your stuff, kind of making sure you're all taken care of as far as you can. And then what you notice is the Kite Devil's throne. There's this like giant gem embedded in it. And you can take it if you'd like.
I think we're gonna take it.
Cool. So
Yeah, probably a good idea.
the way these major samples are, I guess you could call them, they're always like part of the ship. So extracting them, I kind of mentioned before, you do have like these little robotic arms that can kind of but it takes time and it takes effort. Obviously more threats just populated in the hive. So when we do this, whoever's doing it's gonna make a risk roll, and then we'll just kind of go down what that looks like. So when you make a risk roll, you generally state what you want to happen. In this case, it's taking the sample. Mission control and players can decide on the consequences of this. Since you're gathering a sample, it's going to be how much you're antagonizing the hive, and then you'll gather your dice. So who is going to make this risk roll? I'm gathering the sample. Cool. Okay, so get your risk dice. Then
Gotcha.
are you willing to risk any power dice in this risk roll?
No, because I'm running low on power.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's 1d6, and then are any of your upgrades, do they pertain to collecting samples or?
I think that if I was using my ion cannon to blow away parts of the creatures I'm pulling it apart, that could be useful,
Yeah, for
Yeah,
For the I can't think of the word, but it's precision. For the precision, we're not going to do that. But yeah, so 1d6, you're going to roll 1d6 on 1 through 3. The danger meter will increase by 2. On a 4 through 6, it'll increase by 1. Regardless,
I rolled a 4.
let's go. Okay, so the danger meter increases by 1. You get your sample. The way inventory works, every ship, this thing is giant. Every ship can hold one thing, one sample, and then one minor sample if you collect stuff like that. The way to get back in the game currently is you go on mission, and there's also tail pilots, and they hang out outside of the hive. So if you would like to get rid of certain inventory, then you can basically drop it off to them. But you would have to travel through zones in order to do so. The other thing that changes in this chamber, which is like really kind of cool that you sped through it. As you take this, you're successful, and the back of the zone 8, kind of like explodes. It's a new exit. So you have options.
Mission accomplished, boys. Let's go.
Yeah. You have a single sample though.
Yeah.
Albeit the 4th one. And now you know where you can go. Level 3, the locks are open. And then, or sorry, zone 3 and zone 6, it's still locked, but you've used the control panel before. You might deduct something similar to that. It might also be a different little puzzle to get through. Who knows?
I say we'll head to the unlocked section, Ryan. How about you?
Yeah, Blazer.
Yeah. James. James.
Yeah.
So you picked up, so you have the giant like thing like tucked up in the bottom of your ship.
Yeah.
Sick.
My pilot's now sitting on it inside of the ship. So
I had to make room. The floor just kind of like it rose up underneath you.
You're
really getting close. You're really getting close to these Xenos here, buddy.
It speaks to me.
Yeah, so going into zone 7, same magma reservoir that you saw. There are 3 more fireballs headed your way. Now they are on the far side, kind of like if you're going into 1 or 4, you would have to engage in combat, because they were really kind of focused towards the exit. If you might determine. So if you do not want to engage with these guys, you can just continue into either towards 3 or 2.
But
I know you guys said you're headed towards zone 3, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to put these guys out? 3278 or 2378 does it? We can just make a loop-de-doop.
Yeah, you can go to 2 first or whatever. But I guess the main question is, do you want to engage or not?
No.
You're going
Let's do the other part of the game where we explore.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So you guys go right in. Do you guys want to go into chamber 2 or 3 first?
3, I think, because that's the one that was locked that's now open. So
Cool.
probably valuable stuff in there.
It's open. You're looking good so far. So there is a massive computer that's covering basically all 4 walls. This might be, it looks more like a data center than it does the like cockpit. It would. So yeah, so you're in there, and then you're gonna, all this scanning is going on. It's like, hey, there's a chip that you're able to take out of this computer. Everything else looks pretty solid. You would either have to, being in a ship, you'd probably have to destroy it otherwise. But there is like a loose chip that is on the firewall. That's what you got.
Ryan, you want to get this sample?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
This is also pretty straightforward. There's no enemies in this room, so whoever would like to makes the risk roll to collect the sample and see what happens. So we're at 2 ticks up in level 2. This, no matter what, will advance us into the next level of defense.
There's 3 ticks in level 2, right?
Yep.
Oh, so once you complete the level, it advances, not once you're ticked into it.
Yeah, so you start with 1, you've gotten 3 ticks, so you move to the second, and then there is second combat and then getting the sample. So we're at the second tick in the level 2 right now.
Right. So what I'm saying is there's 3 ticks. There's 3 ticks in level 2 before it jumps into level 3.
This does not advance it automatically. You're right.
Sick. All right, dope. Okay, sick. And I'm not going to use a power because I have no power left. So, so what am I doing for this?
Yeah, roll your risk roll. So in a risk roll, you state what you want. You want to collect the samples. The consequences are very clear.
Yeah. I want to collect the samples, and the consequences are very clear. I'm going to roll a d6.
Perfect. Grab your wrist dice. You're not doing
5,
anything more.
baby.
5. Perfect. Okay, so that is increases the danger meter by 1. That puts you at the upper limit of level 2. You didn't risk any power dice, so you're good, and you have the sample. Perfect. Okay, so you guys have this same state of affairs as you're familiar with. I think the big difference is that the fireballs in Chamber 7 saw you, so they're probably
Talking about this.
yeah, they'd
Bro,
probably
did you see
be
those
checking out.
guys? They look so cool.
Yeah, if they're not chasing you, they're probably spotted outside of like 3, right? That entrance. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
hey, maybe if they'll come back, let's be
Oh,
ready.
hey. Is that what they say?
That's something Mission Control would tell you too. So you do know that information. I think that gives you options to just go right at them if you want to engage, or if you want to, continue exploring, avoid them. Maybe going through 2 and onward is a good way, but who knows? Who knows what
Yeah,
level 2 has for you, so.
Yeah, I think we scoop. I think we let them. If we track them this way, we can shoot out behind them and go back out if we want to. If we do get too caught out.
I'm in.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna scoot. We're gonna scoot boot down to zone 2.
Zone 2. Okay, cool. So zone 2 seems like what you're seeing inside this is like a docking module. Obviously it's more alien than what we're used to or understanding, but your understanding of like how the variances show. There's obvious like mechanical telescopic connectors that you can see outside that would attach to something else, maybe be an entry point that you wouldn't have to go through a traditional entrance, or be connected to that they could, move together with whatever they're connected to. So what you see here is like controls for those. And then there's a control panel. Our information to you is that this control panel most likely connects to the locks that are already open, the L2 locks.
Cool.
And yeah, and if you guys want to like investigate the room, you guys can do that and see what you find, or you can keep on to 7, but there's no immediate threat.
But also no sample or anything.
And I would say nothing obvious. So generally, when we're talking like minor samples, it's like something that you can take time to try and like gather from whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in a room like this, a little on the meta side is like, hey, there's no threat right now. You guys can take some time. The fireballs they don't seem to be chasing you, They seem to be locking up on the entrance to 3. So
Ryan, you want to investigate this room, or do you want to try and move forward? Let's investigate this one to try to get another sample, because honestly, at the end of the day, samples, how many samples do we have to get to break even? Does Omega 1 count extra?
Probably right now we're just
but we can't even pick up another sample, can we? Because we both have a sample.
You can pick up a minor sample. So
okay, all right.
If you find a minor sample that like puts you at a little bit positive.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then let's investigate this room.
Yeah.
We'll
roll a perception check.
DC and we'll scan 15, it in various ways.
Cool. Yeah. So no perception check. You are able to find a new chip, and this chip is actually
it's a Dorito.
Pretty much. It's a Flame Zephyr chip, and it comes with an alien upgrade also. So So the alien upgrade here, whoever wants to take it, you will now have a ring of fire around your ship. Your damage dice will be upgraded to a 1d10, and you have like this like ring of fire also acts as like thrusters. So you roll an additional 1d6 when retreating from combat.
Go ahead and take it, Ryan. You deserve it.
All right, I get the ring of fire.
Flame Zephyr, baby.
Fire. And you said my damage dice goes up to a D10?
Huh?
Wait a minute, this is from a minor sample? This isn't even from like the major sample? That was crazy.
Fine, I messed up. It's part of the major sample, but
Ryan called that quick. I didn't even think about that. I was just like, fuck yeah, Ryan, go off, King. You know?
I was like, that feels like a pretty big drop for not getting it from the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. All right.
Yeah.
Well then, damn. As my ship now has a burning ring of fire around it. My gun is now extra powered. What else did I get besides that? The ring of fire, the extra damage dice, and what?
So your damage dice is 1d10, and you get an extra 1d6 if you're making a risk roll, like to retreat. If you're doing a retreating action, because a retreating action in
Yeah, fast retreat
is essentially a risk roll.
Yo, that's a
Oh no,
dope.
it's just
That's
a
a
1d6.
the ring of fire makes sense also because we fought like the fire boss. It makes sense. I gotcha. Well then, if we're both full, plus we got a nice little minor sample too. I think the best thing to do now, do we see the flame guys kind of hanging on 3 or what?
Yeah, your like little maps, your holographic maps in your ship,
Yeah.
which show that they're like protecting 3. So, in that case, they're very close to 2.
Yeah.
You will not be able to completely exit or like bypass them unless you're going directly into 1. But if you're going into zone 7, they're going to be able to be on you. So what you would have an option if you want to like dip into 6 or 5, or 6 is locked, but 5 or 4. Then you can either engage, or we can preemptively do a retreat roll and not engage. Doesn't move forward the danger meter. That's the benefit of retreating right away. Now, retreating right away, you do have opportunity to still be hit with damage while retreating, or you might get stuck in engagement anyway. It's not a guarantee. But the benefit is that you might not advance the danger meter by engaging in combat.
I think Blazer, we're full up on samples. We can't get any more. We already beat the boss. We have an exit. All we have to do is get out room 7 to room 8, and we can get out of here with some money in our pockets and a dope ring of fire around the ship. So I think that you're muted.
I am. I didn't get a ring of fire, so it's just you.
I did. We can trade it. We can switch it off. So I get to do a preemptive retreat roll, and I get to add a bonus d6 to that, right?
Well, here, are you trying to get an 8? You can also exit through 1 right now. The beneficial like scenario that you're in right now is that you're only in level 2 danger, which is like really low. You have like a very minor success, but your benefit in like in a non one shot is you have an upgraded ship, you got a little bit of money, and then obviously there's all the narrative and role playing aspects of like having these samples, trading them. You have to like kind of sell them to get money to pay for more expeditions. But there's kind of this like social aspect of having these samples now. So it's not a failed mission by any means. It's just financially not great. As far as a one shot, I think we played a lot, and you can exit or you can keep going.
So if we were going to play again, though, so we're saying that for this, it's like we got a little bit of money, not a ton, but we did get a couple upgrades on our ship. Mm-hmm. We can just take the ship into the next mission, right? The upgraded, like I would keep my ring of fire, the ripple gun, the spit shine. Blazer would keep the ion cannon. And what'd you take for your second one? Oh, the ramming
shield.
Yeah, the nano. So you'd get like 4 levels. So we'd be really set to then try to take on a different hive next time with a more upgraded ship to start off the bat.
Yeah, and another thing that's developed from like playtesting, really like challenging how we're engaging with shore leave is like as far as like long-term play, you're bringing back samples that you will study, and you might discover a reason to come back and find those other samples.
Interesting.
Each hive changes. It like basically increases its defenses if you leave it, but you also took out its most formidable part. So if there's ever a reason to come back and get those other samples just for like straight up money or whatever, then there might be in like the story of your campaign, right? And it's kind of up to you guys and the MC to like kind of do that. But this is how the game plays. So I think it's like perfectly a good choice.
Yeah. I think we just bail. I think to wrap the game real quick, I think we just bail whichever way is easiest to avoid these guys without combat.
One's clean. One would be you would basically have enough head start and get out.
Yeah. We're just like
scoop.
Pedal to the metal, you know.
Yep. Scoot on out. Yeah. Ring of fire.
Yeah, and the real reward is the experience we had along the way, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
friends we made along the way.
It's the samples we collected along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is sick. This is great. And so I got to run this, what was it, maybe like 2 weeks ago? I ran a playtest of this. I do like that you've made some tweaks and they're really, really good. I'm really excited to see what this ends up as a finale. This is a really fun adventure. The maps are really neat. The last one definitely had a different array. I know when we played before, like there was a big event that happened and it actually shifted the map and made some openings and other closings. So there's a lot of variability that you can have with these maps. And I think they're going to be really easy once people actually get the game in hand and are playing. It's going to be pretty straightforward, or it's going to be as simple or complicated as you want to make new maps. 6 to 8 rooms, and to be able to toss people in really, really quickly. It's a fun. This is definitely great for one shots, but I like the idea of like 3 1-shots, and you get all the upgrades to your ship, and then you're getting these big upgrades from the bosses and stuff like that. Like if I could draw, this would be dope, because I would just make my spaceship look cooler and cooler and cooler, you know. But yeah, this is Cryo Drakus.
Yeah, it was Cryo Drakus. Yeah, and it's really fun doing the alien upgrades too. We've kind of been doing like 2 every mission, you know. So there's a lot of cool variability to that, and obviously the ships themselves play differently. So yeah, hell yeah! Thank you for playing, guys. I'm super happy you guys got out. I don't know. I've really been loving like the difficulty level 2. Like this is a nice minor success. Like
I also love a boss rush. I think having that as an option for this one was a very fun option to have, because it's like, yeah, fucking do it. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So tell us once again, Cryo Drakus is it's on Kickstarter till when?
Yeah, so Cryo Drakus is on Kickstarter until next Thursday.
What date is that?
7th, I believe. So there's 6 more days to that. I believe it's February 27th. Yep. Yeah, so it's on there. We just played the stretch goal pamphlet called Work in Progress pamphlet called Fire in the Hole. I wrote it this week so that Ryan would have a unique experience because he's play tested it before. Also, it's kind of nice to kind of hide all the aspects of the Dripping Scourge versus the intro mission. But yeah, so that's what this was, and we experienced about maybe 60% of it. Didn't get any of the alien intrigue yet because that happens later, or shared at the end of mission on one shot. And yeah, that's Cryo Drakus. Thanks again.
Yeah, of course. And
great having you on again.
Dude, it's a blast to play.
Yeah. It's always fun. Marco, we met Marco way back with some early Mothership stuff. Been friends for a long time since. We already talked about Greenhorns came out already. You can follow on some previous TWS plays. We did 2 sessions of Greenhorns to check that out too. But where can people find you and your stuff? Everything we just talked about, Greenhorns, all your Mothership stuff. Where can they find Constant Downpour and all the rest?
Yeah, all of our stuff. So we don't have a web store for physical stuff out yet. We are aiming for early March, late February, and that will be with the release of Greenhorns, which just shipped out to backers a few weeks ago. That was our first game. But yeah, so our best place to like get our stuff is Itch, so Spicy Tuna RPG. The best place to like follow along is either Blue Skies, or we're probably most active. That's Spicy Tuna RPG as well. Or our newsletter is the Guac, that is on Substack. But the Guac, we talk about everything we do, and then also just share like what's inspiring us now, and links that are like adjacent to tabletop role playing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the best places to do Spicy Tuna RPG, either on Itch, Blue Sky, Instagram, or the Guac newsletter.
There we go. And
very cool.
You know that if Marco's putting anything out, you're also going to hear about it here on the Weekly Scroll. So once again, Marco, thanks for coming on. This is great. This is so much fun. Can't wait for the next game that you're dropping. Which did you want to pitch that? Or did you want to let people know what that is?
Yeah. So I had I've been doing a lot of hardcover, like 150-page books. I'm in the middle of one for Mothership called The Hands That Feed, and then I just finished the Greenhorns RPG, like we mentioned. which will be available to the public soon. But because there's such monsters to tackle, I've taken over the last year a few breaks to work on some smaller systems. Cryo Drakus being one of them, which I'm funding during Zine Quest, and then the genius move of also doing another crowdfunding campaign on BackerKit for their inaugural Pocketopia on March 13th. We're releasing something that actually Ryan and I have had a lot of discussions with, pulp horror RPG called Blackthorn, which is a 1d12 plus 1d6 system that is meant to be a bloodbath one shot where you go in knowing you're going to play multiple characters because of how the focus is on telling a horror story versus your characters being the heroes or survivors. Maybe your second or third character might be the survivor in the whole story arc. So that is going live on the 13th. You can follow us there on BackerKit, Blackthorn RPG, or you can follow the whole Pocketopia, which is both small form board games and small form zines, all together on BackerKit as well. So thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about.
Very cool. Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe we'll see that at some point. But excited for Pocketopia. Zemo is still going on. Zine Quest is still going on. Support creators out there, people like Marco and the rest that are out there doing some great projects this year. Once again, Marco, thanks for coming on, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye.
Bye.